Hi, Miss Karen Lynch, CEO of CVS. We wanted to join with you to discuss a certain topic that we are trying to come to a conclusion on. Tien and I are discussing the pro side regarding the CVS manager wage gap, and Brandy and Julie are discussing the opposing side to this. So to begin, we want to introduce the topic. Providing unequal pay for equal work does not make sense. By compensating pharmacy managers more than store managers, CVS is promoting a division of labor that will only lead to disappointed employees and high turnover rates. The background on the issue is summed up by the fact that CVS employees are not happy with the wage gap between store managers and pharmacy managers due to the workload and lack of compensation. Many people are asking for equal pay for equal work. Tien and I affirm the resolution that all managers within the same store shall receive pay for equal work regardless of educational background or specialized skills. We would like to present the definition that equal pay is defined by level playing field to mean same basic pay, same benefits, same overtime rates and allowances, and same bonus opportunities. The framework of this decision is that if we could prove that all managers of CVS have the right to receive equal pay for equal work, with the positive effect on CVS as a company, you should vote to affirm the resolution also. Like many companies, CVS has the potential to reach extraordinary profits, customer loyalty, long-term success as a whole, and without happy employees, the company risks a loss of business, and if staff are short due to inadequate compensation, customers and company profits will suffer. If this issue lingers, a company could face protests, shutdowns, and even complete bankruptcy. Therefore, a wise business strategy would be to properly and equitably compensate employees who perform similar tasks and workloads. So to summarize, we affirm that CVS managers shall receive equal pay for equal work. And the course of action that we suggest to support this is by compensating store managers and pharmacy managers at the same wage rate to ensure employee satisfaction and create a stronger incentive to perform quality work in all departments. And I'm going to send it over to my teammate Tien to discuss another argument we have for this.
Thank you, Ashley. Hi, everyone. I would like to present my first argument as the equal pay for equal work. As CVS Health company, we see that store managers are responsible for the operation of the whole store, while the pharmacy managers is responsible for only the operation of the pharmacy. And why there is a gap in the pay between the two managers? The evidence for me to support is the store managers must deal with many customers and employees on a daily basis than pharmacy managers does. And this matter because under the Equal Pay Act of 1963, which stated that equal pay for equal work for men and women who work at the same workplace. And I think in this circumstance, both the CVS health store managers and the pharmacy managers work in the same store and the same role. Plus, the store managers is responsible for the overall store operation, while the pharmacy managers is only responsible for the pharmacy operation. I see the treatment in the pay is not equal. Yeah, I would like to hand my presentation back to Ashley. Thank you.
Thank you, Tian. We want to discuss a second argument regarding this, that education and special skills do not equal better work ethic or effort. Our arguments is that the success of a position is based off of effort and dedication and not simply education and skills. The evidence to support this is based off of the growth mindset phenomenon. Carol Dweck writes in the Harvard Business Review that, quote, to sum up the findings, individuals who believe that their talents can be developed through hard work, good strategies, and input from others have a growth mindset. They tend to achieve more than lead those with a more fixed mindset, those who believe that their talents are innate gifts. And this is because they worry less about looking smart and put more energy into learning. This matters because employees are capable of learning on the job through trial and error, while some individuals have a strong academic background and natural abilities through genetics and parental upbringing. There are many people that have less opportunities and must gain experience and knowledge through practical on-the-job training. So regardless of education prior to their work position, employees are often able to perform extremely well by applying the growth mindset and being able to learn from their mistakes. And I will pass it back to Tian to discuss argument 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. I would like to talk about my argument number 3. At CVS Health Company, the CVS Health store managers and the pharmacy managers have their own specialized skills and duty requirement for their roles. But why there are difference in pays for their roles? My argument is, although the store managers do not have the specialized skills that the pharmacy managers have, such as pharmaceutical, pharmacy regulation, and healthcare, but they typically need skills in retail management, sales, and customer service to operate the store daily basis and operation. And the evidence for me to support is the CVS Health store managers have a wide range of job duties, such as, first, they lead and motivate a team of associates to ensure the highest customer service quality provided. Second, they monitor daily operation. Number third is that they manage staff level by recruiting, hiring, training, and develop employees. And the last main job duties need to do is to develop strategies to increase sales, reduce the costs, and improve profitability. This matters because without leadership in management and customer service skills, the store managers cannot bring the outstanding customer service and profitability to the business. I would like to hand this over to our next team, as Julie.
I just want to really quickly point out our conclusion that based off of the arguments that we think you, as our CEO of CVS, should take the following action regarding equal pay for equal work. The growth mindset and undeniable workload for store managers, the only logical decision is to provide equal wage rates among all managers in the same stores. So whether a manager is working in a pharmacy exclusively or another is tending to the store as a whole, both of these managers put in the same effort, responsibility load, and quality of work. Thank you, and we will pass this over to Julie and Brandy.
Yes, hi. Director Lynch. Our side of the argument will be the con side of why pharmaceutical managers do not deserve the equal pay as regular managers at CVS. The definitions that are defined by no educational background and specialty of skill sets can increase the value of the position. The reason why it can increase the value of the position is because the pharmaceutical manager is more likely to perform better on the job by being paid more of a salary. Reason two is because the pharmaceutical manager had to have an educational background in order to be that pharmaceutical manager. And studies show that pharmaceutical managers typically pay between $150,000 and $250,000 in order to receive the degrees that they need to work in that job field. The pharmaceutical managers are liable for distributing the right amount and the right drugs to the customers, and they avoid lawsuits by knowing the right amounts and the right drugs that they need to distribute. So another job of the pharmaceutical manager is that they typically have a salary of almost $200,000. So they will go further to produce the work that needs to be done in order to avoid those lawsuits and in order to distribute the right drugs that they need to distribute on a job. And I will pass this to my partner who does further cons of pharmaceutical managers.
Thank you, Brandy. I wanted to add to our argument. My first argument is that there is more liability associated with the role of a pharmacist compared to a store manager in CVS for several reasons. Pharmacists are responsible for dispensing prescription medications, which directly impact the health and safety of patients. This requires levels of school completion and several tests. For example, in California, pharmacists have to pass North American Pharmacist Licensure Examination. It's short for NAPLEX. In the United States, all pharmacists have to pass this test. And in California, the California Practice Standards and Jurisprudence Examination of Pharmacists, short for CPJE, that's the test that all pharmacists in California have to pass. So therefore, they have to pass two tests. This matters because errors in medication dispensing can have severe consequences, including harm to patients and making it a liability much greater. Pharmacists be vigilant in preventing the illegal amount of prescription medications for any lapses that could result as like liability. For example, I'm referencing LA Times. Last year, CVS Health and Walgreens agreed to pay about $5 billion each to settle a raft of lawsuits brought by the state and local government, accusing the chains of filling prescriptions that should have been flagged as inappropriate, helping to fuel the epidemic that has killed more than 500,000 Americans over the last 20 years. This evidence supports that pharmacists are in a role of responsibility. There's such a vital role that there is a settlement that the CVS now has. There's a settlement CVS had to pay. So therefore, they have to put people in a responsible role to prevent such thing to occur again. I will pass this back to my teammate, Brandy, to add more to our argument.
We affirm that while pharmaceutical managers have a big role in the company, that also the regular managers at the company do deserve some sort of pay gap, to where that the pay is not equal, but it is enough for the workers to supply their basic needs on the job. The course of action we suggest is that the company take in account that all their workers need to be compensated in a fashion to where they're able to take care of their needs and to not need extra pay that they have to go to school for. And if their job meets the requirements, if they're also a manager, that they should have some sort of pay gap to where the amount is not the amount as the pharmaceutical managers, but it's somewhere in between, that they are satisfied with the managing role. The evidence that we have to support this is that I got evidence from salary.com, where pharmaceutical managers are typically earning this $200,000 pay, and they're actually going to school and paying $250,000. So it is a basic compensation for their education, but there also needs to be a basic compensation for regular managers, since they're doing a similar job, but not exactly the job as the pharmaceutical manager. And I will pass this back to my partner, Julie, for further sentiment.
Thank you, Brandy. I wanted to add to what you were mentioning earlier. I have pulled up the CVS site, and for their job description as a store manager, all they have to do is, one of the requirements will be the SMIP program that lasts between 12 weeks and 24 months. To qualify to become a store manager, you will be trained to run a CVS pharmacy store as a store manager. So you will get the training in CVS to become a store manager, compared to pharmacists that have a doctorate. And that could take up to 10 years of just school, aside from just how much the tuition will be for those 10 years is not equivalent to the just 12 weeks to 24 months of training. So therefore, there's a big difference when it comes to the training and the hours that are being put into both certifications to be able, for the requirements of both jobs are very different. Job descriptions, to get hired as a pharmacist, you have to have a school background. Compared to becoming a CVS store manager, you just have to have the SMIP program certification, which is 12 weeks to 24 months. So there's a big difference there. Pharmacists are held to high professional standards and ethics. Failing to meet these standards can lead to disciplinary actions by regulatory bodies and professional organizations. If you guys did not watch the documentary, they mentioned how a lot of documentary of the opioid I'm not sure if you guys watched it, but basically they were able to revoke a lot of licenses because they were in a role of responsibility to their communities, and they failed to do so. So therefore they get their career taken away. And store managers, it does not compare to that. They don't get no license taken away if they do any kind of something unethical. This matters because the patient consultations that pharmacists do, such as administer flu shots, the record keeping for all these patients can lead to legal issues. And pharmacists often provide counseling to patients about medication use, potential side effects, and drug interactions. Providing inaccurate or incomplete information can result to patients in legal repercussions. To conclude our argument, we affirm to negate the resolution. The course of action we suggest and will support is that the pay stay the same, because while store managers and CVS have their own responsibilities, they typically don't deal with the prescription medications or the same level of regulatory scrutiny, the patient safety concerns as pharmacists do. Therefore, the potential liability is generally higher for pharmacists due to the specialized nature of their role and the critical impact that they have on the patient well-being. Based on our arguments, we think you should take the following actions. Store managers gain more informative of their job description to know the difference of responsibilities that both jobs have, so that they could understand why there is such a big pay gap, and why they both have different responsibilities when it comes to CVS, and it's just not comparable. One deals with patients, the other one deals with customers. So it's very different. We're talking about somebody's health while somebody's experience in the store. And I will take this with our opposing side, Tian and Ashley, if you guys wanted to have any other comments.
Hi, Ashley, can you go first?
Yeah, so great job at your conversation. I really enjoyed listening to you both. I think that Tian and I are curious, at least I am, about the different abilities to actually receive the education and the opportunities that people have, because it's sometimes that there's no other way for certain individuals to move up in pay or education because of their busy lifestyle. Maybe they have to work full time and they have to be in that CVS general manager position and get paid what they get paid, but there's no room for growth or opportunity, whether it be funding for tuition from the company itself, or extra hours to put into a school a school job essentially as well, because people have full-time job commitments with families and all types of things. So what do you guys suggest for those people that would want to make a greatly amount more, such as a pharmacy manager? How would you suggest that people who have to work full-time, how do they pursue that higher wage rate?
Thank you, Ashley. I would like to add my opinions. In the case that you say that regular managers cannot compare in the pay for them with the pay for the pharmacy managers, I think this is not true, because to be a regular managers at a CVS health store, you need not only to have a BS degree at a college, but you also need experience. Because if a new person or crookie they cannot do the job or handle the management of a store like this. So I think that it is especially, or she also have the specialized skill in management, sales, and customer service. And without the management skills and customer service skills, the job cannot be handled successfully. Yeah, and we cannot maintain the same level of customer who come to the store, which make the successful sale for a year. So I think that if we just focus on the background of education, it's not true. Yeah, because based on the workplace, the same role, we should have the same pay. Yeah, because every managers, they all have their own specialized skills. And because you are a pharmacy, that's a course of education you need to follow. We cannot compare, the level of education to the real world, because the role is the same at the same place, the same workplace. But I would like to add this. Store managers also work long hours than the pharmacy managers. Yeah, they leave the store later than pharmacy managers. They work long hours. So I think this can compensate for the gap in the education. People say that, because they focus or they invest more time on their education, so that they need more pay than regular managers. I don't think that this is fair. Thank you for listening.
Hi, Tian, I wanted to add, I'm sorry, Brandy, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Tian, I'm not sure if we could go back to my argument. It's not the same. They hold different like job descriptions, different responsibilities. I understand that, everybody comes, basically a customer comes in have this experience. So it takes two, the store manager and the pharmacist, but these are patients coming in to get their pharmaceuticals, their medicine. So and the liability is completely different. Store managers don't have no liability. They just have to basically make sure that the customer is happy, and that's all. But they can't bring no type of lawsuit when it comes to somebody's well-being or their health at all. And pharmacists can't just apply from having 12 weeks to 24 months of some type of certification. When you apply to be a pharmacist, you have to have like multiple degrees to even get the job, to be able to qualify. So it's completely different. No, even for CVS pharmacists, when you go to apply to a job, if you try to apply with a type of certifications and no type of schooling that is more than 4 years, they're not going to take your application seriously. You're not going to get that role because they want people that are going to be in sorry, you guys, we're running out of time. So it's completely different. I think if you want to get a pay raise, I think you have to focus on, or maybe compare it to other store managers such as Walgreens, Rite Aid, but not as pharmacists, because it's completely different. Yeah.
To add on to more of what Ashley said on what can be done, I feel that the managers and the pharmaceutical managers can get together and can form some type of committee to go to CVS or go to Ms. Lynch and kind of ask them to put together a program for tuition reimbursement with the company, since the company, I'm pretty sure, has millions of dollars set aside for numerous of matters, that they should be able to provide tuition reimbursement to where they can hire in-company hire those same managers to become the store managers eventually, if that's what they want to do.
to add what my teammate said, if managers are seeking to have more of a pay equivalent to pharmacists, I think that they should also take in consideration that they had years and years for schooling so that they could go to these job interviews or actually request from their employers a bigger salary, because they have all these years of not just gaining experience through like schooling, but also like going through the material that they need to do, so that they could request a higher pay. So they could actually be influenced by pharmacists and their pay, and actually go, not say that they have to go to school, but that's one way for them to request a higher pay from their employers, because they have all these degrees like under their belt.
I just wanted to add in when I did look up pharmacy managers, it looks like, I mean, I guess where you are living and located, that the minimum is a bachelor's degree. So, and I know that obviously you have to have a certification in pharmacy itself and everything, but I'm not sure that a PhD is required by every employer. It could be that CVS is, but I think that based off of the fact that most general managers do have to have some sort of educational experience within undergraduate studies, that there has to be some sort of compromise or way that we can minimize the wage gap through providing better education resources to the managers that would like to get up to that level, and then also just acknowledging that skills and effort in itself and ability to improve profits for the company as a whole is a way to ask for higher compensation, because the goal of a company ultimately is to make profits. And so if you have a pharmacy manager that isn't really doing the best job, but they're getting paid way more than this amazing, hardworking, dedicated, customer service-based general manager who just brings in all the sales for that store, I just believe that there has to be some sort of, compensation for that.
And I could agree with you 100%. They could, bring this to their employer and be like, hey, these are my sales. Like, I need a bigger pay raise. But most employers are just going to look at the median when it comes to their job, just like, their job title. Like, hey, everybody else, like in California, this is what the average is for the store managers compared to pharmacists, store managers. That is why, people choose the careers that they want to choose for. It could be money, it could be their passion, but, it's just how, if they have these good, like these good attributes about themselves, like they're good sales people, maybe they're just like in the wrong field, honestly. And that's just something that we have to look at. CVS, they probably stick to a salary base where this is what they pay their store managers. I also wanted to go back to what you said. It was about 4 years. Pharmacists have to go to school and maybe get a certification after, like, pass an exam. That could be true, but as I mentioned earlier, CVS also, when you apply to be a store manager, they don't require that. They just said like, oh, you don't have to have some type of college degree or anything like that. You get trained. So I think a lot of the time when I've seen that jobs have that, it's because they kind of just promote within their company. So you could start as an associate, like a cashier, and then work your way up because they trust in you to do the job, instead of someone that could just walk in and be a pharmacist because of their the schooling that they did. We're also comparing it to pharmacists, like managers that are pharmacists. So they have to start off as a regular pharmacist and become a manager as well. But if anyone wants to add,
Julie, I don't agree with what you just said about regular managers. They climb up as a cashier because this is not true. To be able to manage a store like CVS Health, so you cannot get certain degree or certain you need certain degree at a college, but not popular or like regular education like from high school. So this is not true. I don't agree with this. Yeah.
Well, I've seen a lot of times where they do promote within their company. It starts like a cashier, then assistant manager. So slowly you're gaining the experience and to be put in that role of a manager. That's what I was basically referring to. I know my company does that. Yeah.
Well, I think that we should wrap it up. I hope that Ms. Lynch, that you have had a good idea of what CVS should do for their employees, and we hope that it comes to a decision that benefits everybody and where we can grow to success and help CVS grow as a company as well in profits and long-term growth. So thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.